Hi everyone, this is Sharifine Ako, and in this video, I'm going to discuss the official report of Governor Izquierdo on the Cavite Mutiny of 1872. So let's go ahead and start. Official report of Governor Izquierdo on the Cavite Mutiny of 1872. Who is Governor Izquierdo? Governor General Rafael Izquierdo y Gutierrez was born last September 30, 1820 and died on November 9, 1883. He is a Spanish military officer. He was famous for his use of iron fist type of government, contradicting the liberal government of his predecessor, Carlos Maria de la Torre y Navacerrada. He was the Governor General during the 1872 Cavite Mutiny, which led to execution of 41 of the mutineers, including the Gomburzo martyrs. Governor General Rafael Izquierdo reported to the Minister of War, dated Manila, on January 23, 1872, blaming the Cavite Mutiny on the native clergy, some local residents, intellectual, and even El Eco Filipino, a Madrid-based reformist newspaper. So Governor Izquierdo's reports shed light to the grievances and frustration of the Filipino soldiers and workers that fueled the mutiny, as well as the response of the Spanish colonial government to restore order and stability in the region. The report also delves into the investigation conducted to identify and punish those responsible for inciting the rebellion. Significantly, he calls the military mutiny an insurrection, an uprising, and a revolution. And why did the mutiny happen in Cavite? As for my research, the Cavite Mutiny was an aim of the natives to get off the Spanish government in the Philippines due to the removal of privilege enjoyed by the laborers of the Cavite arsenal at Port San Felipe, such as exemption from the tribute and forced labor. The instigator to carry out their criminal project protested against the injustice of the government in not paying the provinces for their crops, such as tobacco. And also in these statements, and which is against the usury that some officials practice in handling documents, which is the finance department give crops to the owner who have to sell them at a loss. And also they encourage the rebellion by protesting what they call the injustice of having obliged the worker in the Cavite arsenal to pay the tribute starting from January 1, 1872, and also they've asked them to render personal service from which they were formerly exempted. To seduce the native troops, they resorted to superstitions with which Indians are so prone to believe, persuading them that the chief of state, which is Harry, would be an ecclesiastic, and the rest of the clergy who back up the uprising would celebrate the daily for its success. Thus, the rebellion could not fail because they believed that the God was with them, and those who would not revolt they would immediately kill. And also they are taking advantage of the ignorance of those classes and the propensity of the India to steal. They also offered to those who are revolted the wealth of the Spaniards and of the regular clergy, employment and ranks in the army. And to this effect, they said that the 15 native battalions would be created, in which the soldiers who revolted would have jobs as officers and chiefs. The lawyer also and the abogadillos would direct the affair of government of the administration of justice. And up to now, it has been not clearly determined if they plan to establish a monarchy or a republic, because the Indios have no word in their language to describe this different form of government. However, it turns out that they would place at the head of the government a priest, and there were great probabilities and certainly that the head selected would be Dr. Jose Burgos or Dr. Jacinto Zamora, which is the parish priest of San Pedro of Manila. And all Spaniards, including the priors, would be executed except for the women. However, their belongings is confiscated, and also it stated that the foreigners would be respected. So this uprising has roots, and with them were affiliated to a great extent of regiments of the infantry and artillery, many civilians and a large number of mestizos, Indios, and some ilustrados from the provinces. To start the revolution, they are planning to set fire to the district of Tondo, and once the fire was set and while the authorities were busy putting it out, the regiment of artillery, with the help of the part of the infantry, would seize Fort Santiago of this capital, and the fire cannons to inform the rebels of the Cavite of their success. Also, the rebels of Cavite counted on the artillery detachment that occupied the fort and on the Navy help 500 natives led by the pardon leader Camerino. So Camerino and his men, located at the town of Bacoor and separated from the port of San Felipe by a small arm of the sea, they would cross the water and reach the port where they would find arms and ammunition. So the rebels in Cavite made the signal agreed, which is using of lanterns, but the native civilians of Bacoor, although they tried to do it, however, they failed because of the vigilance of the Spanish Navy that had placed there a gunboat and armed vessel. Loyalists who went to arrest the parish priest of Bacoor found an abandoned vessel loaded with arms, including carbines and revolvers. And the civil military governor of Cavite and the commanders of the Regiment 7 took very timely precautions. They also know how to keep their soldiers loyal and behave with valor and gallantry, obliging the rebels to take refuge in the port of San Felipe. So such as excellency, the plan of the rebels, which is who guided them and the means they counted upon its realization. For a long time now, though confidential information and the other of bugger character is taking advantage of a group that had been left behind from an uprising but was not carried out because of the earthquake that was happened on 1862. There existed in the Manila a junta or center that sought and found followers, and that as pretext they had established a society for the teaching of arts and trades. And months ago, it suspended it indirectly, giving an account to the Excellency on the confidential report number 113 dated on August 1, 1871, to which the Excellency, however, is not yet replied. Also has been stated that the center of junta received inspiration from Madrid, where newspaper of advanced idea flourished. To sustain them, subscriptions are solicited in effect, which is the newspapers such as El Eco Filipino were sent from Madrid, which were distributed by the person who is now in prison, but the articles thunder against everything that can be found. So in conclusion, Governor Izquierdo's official report on the Cavite Mutiny of 1872, it highlights the significant role played by the Spanish authority in suppressing the uprising and maintaining order in the region. And also the report details the events leading up to the mutiny, the measures taken to quell the rebellion. So Governor Izquierdo also emphasizes the importance of maintaining strict discipline and vigilance among the Spanish troops and the local population to prevent further outbreaks of unrest. Overall, Governor Izquierdo's report served as a reminder of the challenges faced by the Spanish colonial administration in maintaining control over its territories and the importance of effective governance and also communication in preventing and responding to acts of rebellions and insurrection. That's all, and thank you.